Question 9875 asks us to refer to figures 48, 49, and 50. What is the ground distance covered during en route climb route for operating conditions W1? So figure 48 is going to give us those operating conditions, and we'll go ahead and highlight W1. And then figures 49 and 50 are essentially the same charts, but they're going to be slightly different because they're based on whether or not they're high speed or long range. In your book, I recommend making a note. LR means long range, and then HS means high speed. So there's high speed right here. It's going to tell you that in the top of the chart. And over on this chart, we have long range. So if we look at our performance calculations here, or our operating conditions, we can see that we are going to be long range. So we're going to be focused on figure 49. Now, remember that a good idea would be to write down whatever the operating conditions are on a separate piece of paper, a scratch piece of paper. So let's go ahead and write those down to the side. Our climb schedule is long range. Our weight is 84,000 pounds. So put it like that. Weight is 84,000. Our altitude, it says, is 34,000. Our ISA is exactly ISA. And our wind is going to be a 20-knot headwind. So now that we have all that information, we're going to take a look at the long-range schedule. And first, we need to figure out what box we're going to be using. And this is based on the weight. So we know our weight is 84,000 pounds, which means we're going to be using this bottom right-hand box. We'll just highlight that. And then you can see up at the top that it says pressure, altitude, time, fuel burned, and distance. So we know that we're going to be using that pressure altitude of 34,000. So coming down here, we are going to be using 34,000. Yes, so we're going to go ahead and highlight that. Now we're going to just look at our information there, and we start with our no wind time. Remember, our question is asking us, we need to figure out our ground distance covered. So that's going to be very similar to the question we originally went over about distance, time, and speed. So we're going to go ahead and start with our no wind time, which is 17.1. So no wind time. Once you get that, you need your no wind distance. So I'm just going to put no W distance. It's going to be 109.7. And remember, we're just getting that from the chart. This is distance, this is time, and I think this is fuel burn. Yes. So once we have that, we need to figure out our ground speed. So remember, to get our ground speed, it's a distance divided by time multiplied by 60. So we're going to take 109.7 divided by 17.1 times 60. And that's going to equal 384.9. 384.9. Now we need to adjust for that ground, or that wind component. So we're going to take 384.9, and remember that we have a headwind of 20 knots. That headwind slows us down, so we are going to subtract 20 from this. Our wind adjusted speed is going to be 364.9. And we're looking for that distance. So remember that we want to figure out how fast we're going. To get that wind adjusted distance, we're going to take 364.9 and divide that by 60. So 364.9 divided by 60, that's going to give us about 6.08. So this is how fast we're moving per minute. We're then going to multiply that times the no wind time from up here. So 6.08 times 17.1. And we multiply that together, we get 103.9. That's how fast we're traveling within 17.1 minutes. So this is our wind adjusted distance. And when we look at our answer choices, there's only one that's going to make sense with that, and that one is 104 nautical miles.